All right. Hi, how's everybody doing tonight?
Let's switch over.
We are excited to be back in the underground, heading it down into the Underdark. Where do you think Zira and Toggle are going to end up today?
You also might hear a singing boy in the background. I don't think we can edit that out. I apologize. Yeah,
Is you singing?
yeah, I can hear him singing. Yeah, it's when he's scared he sings to the Lord.
Yes, he does.
So,
Uh,
and he sings pretty loud too. So, yay! Shouldn't be too bad.
no, it should be
Yeah.
fine.
So, Zira and Toggle. I think on the last episode that you guys had like a little bit of a difficulty. You captured somewhat of his circumstance of what he's going through. And I think you guys wrestled with it a little bit. I don't know how you feel about his whole situation going
I
forward.
think I feel like a little concerned about his mental stability,
Oh gosh.
considering how uh, frantically he had been searching for this cure. And that had been kind of like the whole basis on our relationship is that I would help him find this crystal that would help heal his father, right?
Yeah.
Only to find out that his father not only has passed away, but has been dead for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it did kind of force him to face reality because through his, how should we say it, conflicted nature, he was doing quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm gonna go check the. I know what it is.
Huh? Oh,
Oh yeah. Keep going. I'll explain.
okay. So yeah, anyway, he uh, was going basically turning into like this crazy were-goblin monster, right? And was just completely out of his mind with insanity. It was this crazy madness. He did attack me. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely a little bit more concerned for my safety at this point. Um, so we'll see. But I have no choice but to trust him because I'm obviously in this situation. I have no clue what I'm doing down here. But yeah, let's see where the story takes us today.
Yep.
It scares me a little bit.
Yep.
Uh,
I know.
uh,
Okay. So, um, where Zura and Toggle are, let's go ahead and actually flip over to the map. Um,
well, Lisa, how are you?
cool. So, where Zira and Toggle are at. So you guys went through where you were originally, where Toggle's home is in his area, and you're wanting to go from the upper dark to the lower dark, to the underdark, pretty much.
Right.
And Toggle had agreed to take you down to the underdark area. He would only go so far, and he said to you that there'd be it'd be a difficult travel to get there. And the first area you're going to be going through is called the Lager Dive. Okay. He kind of just mentioned it here and there and stuff as you guys were traveling. He didn't really want to talk too much and stuff on his travels toward this direction. And it is a couple days travel through Lager Dive. Okay. And he recommended that we find a place to stay, in which he kind of knows, but he warns you that it might be very difficult in this area, people wise. He
Okay.
says, be careful, focus on yourself, make sure you kind of perceive everything, trust nobody. Okay?
Isn't that kind of the motto of everywhere that we have
Yep.
been? Yes,
Yep.
trust no one. Trust only yourself.
Yep. Pretty much. Okay.
So is it kind of like a civilization?
So it's a gigantic cave, so you can still see lightings that is coming in from the top of the cave atmosphere,
Okay.
okay, from the outside world. Very broad, very big, spacious place, okay? But then as you kind of go into the main thrall of everything to where you're entering in the Lager Dive, okay, Lager Dive, not much things here and there and stuff, but like a lot of just spikes and protruding of rocks and sharp, um, I don't know what you call them, like sharp points, like sharp jagged rocks that come and protrude out um, in all directions and kind of fill up this cavern. And it's basically it's a drop. It's a drop all the way down and stuff. And you can't even see the bottom as you kind of get to the edge of it and all. Okay.
No,
And
I'm gonna stay away from the edge of that.
yeah, you want to. So so basically it is a descension. It's a descension and it's a long descension. It is a descension that takes like 10 days to travel down. Okay. Midway, you will have to stop at a place to kind of find a rest or find because
Right.
it is a dive. So he says to you, oh, did you bring your ropes and everything that you need?
Yes, I did. I try
All
to
right
make
then.
sure I always have supplies on hand.
And he guys kind of expand. Let me just go ahead and expand the map a little bit. Try not to use maps in my gameplays and stuff because it just. But this kind of gives you an idea of how things kind of look. Okay, so as you guys kind of start coming around, um, let me see if I can pull.
Yeah, I think the maps are beneficial in the live gameplay to a certain degree, just
Yeah.
because it helps our viewers to understand like where we are situationally, kind of what's going on. It just gives a little bit better of a visual. Uh, just my thought process.
Yeah, it does. It kind of like it goes back and forth. So yeah, basically you guys are in this area and stuff. You guys have been traveling through here, exploring. It's a strange and just eerie kind of place. Very kind of uncomfortable. You keep like as you step on the rocks, you slip a little bit and stuff. Toggle doesn't pay much mind to you. He kind of continually focuses on like a person that is just taking somebody to their point. Okay, and he's kind of every so often he'll say, "Keep up, let's go." And then he kind of continues on. You can see ahead of you, you can see what appears to be a very, very rickety bridge. And then you guys get to the edge and you look down. You drop a pebble and it falls through the air and it just hits off the sides and then it disappears into the darkness. Okay. And then he says, "Here we are, like a dive." Well, and then he starts pulling out his rope and it looks very worn and just tattered and dark and dirty and stuff. And he starts wrapping it on what appears to be an old post, an old wooden post that hangs to the side of it. Okay. He doesn't even check the post or anything. He just wraps it, knots it, pulls it, and then he kind of starts looking out into the distance and stuff for a spot to drop. Okay. What are you
Are
doing?
you sure that that's safe?
He says to you. He says to you, "Look, do you want to get there or what?
Well,
You don't want
yes,
to waste
I
time
want to
looking over
actually get
things."
there. That's the whole point. I really don't want to fall to my death.
Well, if you be my guest, if you want to check it out.
But yes, I do want to check it out.
And with that, he jumps off the side, slides down. You can hear the ricketiness of this post cracking, okay, as he slides down, and then he lands to a rock about 30 feet below you. And I'll say hello to my cat.
Yeah, say hi, Jackson. Are you just gonna stand there and meow? Come on up.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to do a brief inspection now of this post and this rope to make sure it's even gonna let me drop down.
Gotcha. As you're going to inspect this post and stuff, all of a sudden you start hearing a little bit of a rumbling through these rocks and stuff that are just to the right of you. Somewhat of a movement. Okay, you haven't seen much life around here. You can see what appears to be maybe some travelers have come and passed through, but a mixture of just little things here and there.
Am I rolling awareness?
You're rolling to kind of try to check out this post. So it would be something that has to do with that.
Survival?
Yes, survival would work.
Okay, it's a 23 non-nat.
With the 23 non-nat. Nice.
I know, the dragon dice like me tonight. Let's just see how long that luck actually lasts.
Yeah. This post, as you go to kind of grab it and check it and stuff, you can tell that it has been used many times and it is well fortified. It has a firm foundation
Okay.
to kind of run off of. Okay, it is like a magical thing for these people. It looks like it should break, but somehow it just holds up really well. Okay.
Nice. Okay, so I guess I'm going down.
Cool. And put you down. So you've made it. You start descending, and you make it to the same one that Toggle is on. Okay, and you guys are just crossing. You spend a good portion of time crossing through this area with the jagged edges and stuff, and coming from the certain areas, and then you start to see it gets a little bit darker. Um, he You can see all the way at the very bottom. It's very rough, but you see a glow of a red or an orangish kind of color. And you know it exactly as it to be lava because you come from the fire plane.
Yes, it's a very familiar and comforting sight for me, actually, at this point. As it has just been a world of just pure darkness and dampness, and I'm used to that warm red glow almost everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And as you guys are walking across the ways, you can see just a bunch of holes and stuff that protrude out. This place that you're in is very strange. It's just a gaping hole with lots of spikes sticking out and holes here and there. Taco says, "Be careful where you go. Just careful where you stick your hands, whatever. Just focus on the path ahead. All right."
That's the plan. I'm
Uh,
following you.
he kind of tells you a little bit about this place. He kind of like mentions that this is the he told you the Lager Dive, but this is basically where a portion of the ground split open, and it opened up a long time ago to the Underdark. To the
Okay.
Underdark. Okay.
So this is like a direct route down,
Yes, pretty
basically.
much. This is one of the many openings that have opened up and stuff. Okay. And as you start descending down more, go ahead and roll for survival. First of all, we're going to see if you can handle yourself.
Is this against heat?
No.
Ah. That's gonna be a 17.
17. Cool. You are doing pretty good. You can feel yourself getting a little bit tired, but you're handling it pretty well. You keep clipping your rope to certain little spots and stuff, finding good solid rocks, and you keep traveling down, descending farther and farther into this. Okay, it's a beautiful area. It's kind of strange a little bit, the rocks and the different colors and mixtures of it and stuff. And then with that, you can start to see lots of just like strands and just strange mixture of things. You can tell that what inhabits this areas are probably like spiders or spider-esque creatures. Okay.
Ew.
Okay. As your hand reaches and you kind of grab, and then your hand comes out webbed up a little bit. Okay. And then from this hole, you can kind of see what appears to be a multitude of like green eyes staring back at you as they kind of open up all one by one.
Yeah.
And then you hear a noise coming from that hole, like a, and then like a slime mess kind of coming from its mouth, and its pincers kind of closing and opening. I would say the head of this thing is probably about the same size as your upper body. Okay.
Oh, Toggle.
And you can see what appears to be a long just leg just comes shooting out towards you in your direction. Toggle quickly grabs you and tosses you down to the ground as this leg reaches out. Okay. And then it goes for a long while. It is probably 10, 15, maybe like 20 feet long as it comes all the way out and touches the other side of this gigantic hole, okay, of a cave, and its body slowly pulls itself out. And then he motions to you. He says, "Move quieter. Move." He actually says, "Moved softer." Okay.
Yeah.
And he kind of slides. He hunkers down behind somewhat of a rock, and he slides his body down from one rock to the next rock. Okay, and he motions you. Okay.
I'm going to follow him. Exactly.
Let's do it. Let's do a stealth roll, and I'll do an awareness roll.
That's going to be a non-nat 25. I'm very sneaky.
You are rolling really good today.
I am. I know. Like I said, I'm very surprised. Like these dice, I bought these dice. I absolutely love these dice, but most of the time they roll crap for me. So this is actually a wonderful experience that we're rolling well tonight.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what we're playing DC20, where DC20 the main thing is the 20-sided dice. Okay, so we roll the dice, And whatever number you roll, that's how well you do and stuff. So obviously 20 is the highest and 1 is the lowest.
And
So
we have our character sheets, which also have different
yep,
bonuses that we can add to that number to give us a better roll, which is why I'm able to get like a 23 or a 25.
yep. So she gets to add, depending on how she built her character, she gets to add bonuses to those things and stuff. So
I'm very stealthy.
she's trying to be stealthy, and I'm gonna find her. Okay.
You're gonna find me?
Yeah, I'm gonna find you.
No!
Okay, cool.
I can't roll much better than a 25.
Well, it's not gonna be much of an adventure if you keep rolling 23s and stuff, and I'm like rolling like 2. Cool. You guys keep descending down farther and farther. It has been a day's worth of travel. You've seen a lot of these kinds of things just poking their arms out, poking their faces out. Every so often, they would kind of look at you very strangely, and then Toggle would then quickly just kind of hold you and motion you to be still. Okay, and they would kind of look at you, and they would come up just as close as they could to you, and then they would just hover away from you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, "Good job. You're actually making it down here. I guess you'll survive more than I thought you would."
I've had extensive military training. I know how to take orders if I need to.
All right, then. We're getting close to, what did I call it?
The
cave.
Thunderclad Fortress.
Lagardad.
Oh, Lagardad.
Yeah, you're going into the caves. Okay. Yeah, we're almost there. Too far away. Let's go ahead and roll for another stealth. See how we do.
Oh.
And with that, as you're slipping through a rope, as you're slipping your rope down, or you're sliding down your rope, all of a sudden, you can see sleeping underneath one of the rocks below, a spider in its eyes. And this one looks a lot hairier and a lot with like red eyes, okay? And its head kind of turns around and it looks at you as you slide and stop. And Toggle's just above you, and he kind of like looks down at you and he says, "Hey, get going." And then he freezes and stuff, okay? Let's see, what did you roll?
21.
Oh my god.
Hey, I have a +6 to my stealth.
Oh, well that's wild.
So, yes, I know. I'm like, that's where I build up my character,
I debated
is
on whether
my
or not I should
stealth.
do this as a skill challenge and give you damage and stuff when you fail, but like, it's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You are doing solid. Okay.
I know. Well, and I've actually been rolling halfway decently. I mean, I know it's gonna quit sooner or later, but I'm very pleased.
Yeah, you can do
that I can make it through the scary spider cave without getting caught.
So it's been 3 days of travel. You and Toggle have kind of found spots to kind of stop and rest and relax. You guys probably would spend like a couple hours and stuff, 4 hours kind of just keeping watch and focusing. And then the next day you would continue traveling down and down and down, okay? So it's been 3 days. I'm going to go ahead and take away 3 rations from you if you have them, as well as you're going to take 3 exhaustion. Okay, so you have a -3 to all of everything you get. Yes. Boom. That's how you knock them down.
I think, so I have 3 exhaustion?
Okay. Yeah, you have 3 exhaustion, yeah. It's been 3 days and stuff, so.
Wait, we didn't get any long rest?
No, not long. No.
Give me the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm not
this is what
taking
he
it down.
does to me.
So she has exhaustion, so she's going to take, for each exhaustion, she takes a -1. So that goes against every roll that she takes. So, yeah, it's not going to be good now for her. But you've gone through most of the days, okay? On the 3rd day, you can see what appears to be a mall of fabric that hangs over what appears to be a giant hole, okay? And it is green and it is decorated kind of interestingly, okay? He points to that and he says, that's where we're going. Keep it up. And then with that, he tosses his rope and he slides down it to the next stone, okay?
Okay.
And with that, you can then see all of a sudden, as you look up, you can see these long-legged spiders kind of moving throughout, like almost dancing through this hole and stuff, okay? And they start to descend. Every single one of them starts to descend, okay? And you can see some of the rocks and stuff are falling from the sides walls and stuff and start crashing down and smashing into some of these cave areas. I'm not sure what's called. So first we're gonna go ahead and roll for an acrobatics to avoid it. Okay. So the DC save, I'm gonna wait before you go. So DC save is basically, I set a number, she has to beat it. If she doesn't beat it, then I get to do something to her character.
Yep.
So the DC save is going to be a 14 as a gigantic stone comes flying through the air down at you guys. Okay?
Okay. So I got 18, but I have to take away 3.
Yes.
So it's a 15.
Gosh.
So I still succeed.
You quickly dodge to the wall. You're about to like wrap your rope and stuff, and then you just hear and then it's just like a thundering noise of a crashing boulder that's coming and flying down towards you. You quickly pull your rope back, you hit the wall as fast as you can, and it smashes into the rock and breaks it, the one that which you're standing on, but you are on the side that's held into the wall. But the rest of it crumbles down, and you then see Toggle whip his rope, and then he lets it go. Okay? So go ahead and roll for Toggle, please. Give him a +4.
Okay.
He has to beat the save too. 14.
On the nose, 14.
Gosh. Cool. God, I can't do anything interesting, can I? Like the story is not going to climb to. Yeah.
Sorry,
he
guys.
kind of like
Dice rolling too
grabs the rope,
good.
and then he sees what's going on and he swings himself and he is flying through the air. Okay, and he throws himself toward that appeared air entrance, and then he crashes onto the ground. Another rock comes down, smashes and hits him up on the side of his leg, and then he pulls his leg free as it smashes and breaks the rock set in which he's standing on.
Jeez.
And he covers. Okay, but you can tell that he is injured. Since it was 14-14, I'm gonna injure him. Okay.
Okay.
He can barely walk. As you see this.
I must go rescue him then.
Cool. So that was the
Let's
first
go
thing.
rescue
Cool.
him.
The other thing is these spiders start descending like crazy, and then with that you can hear these noises of get louder and louder and just fill in your ears and stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack you first of all with a certain kind of attack your mental. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 20. Not now.
Let's see. My mental, that is going to be a heavy hit.
Okay, a heavy hit. Should probably put you guys on the board.
Yeah, so
I have a tendency to like zone out.
On these pages, it gives us different numbers that are basically our defense, and he is trying to roll to beat my defense, and however much he beats it by is how many extra points of damage he's able to do to me. So he gets an extra point of damage because it was considered a heavy hit.
Did you say every 5 or whatever, right?
Yeah, so it's so my base defense for my mental is 11.
Mm-hmm.
Another 5 from that would be 16. Another 5 from that is 21. Mm-hmm. So because he rolled a 20, it's not quite that 21. So it's a heavy instead of a brutal hit.
Yep. So she has 2 defenses. She has 2 defenses. She has her physical defense that is toward her body, and she has her mental defense, which goes into her mind. Like, so say if something tries to kind of, I don't know, like psychic damage or something like that.
Right.
And this is
exactly.
somewhat, it is psychonic or sound-esque kind of thing. Somewhat.
Kind of, sort of.
Thank you. Darn you. That's what I get for the foam tops.
Yes.
And
cold foam and mustaches don't always agree with each other.
Yeah, I try.
It wasn't that much, don't worry.
I drink it like a weird. Okay, so yeah, you
Oh, hi.
I'm trying to think of what I'm doing. Yeah.
So you're doing a psychic damage.
Yep, it goes right into your mind, and you kind of quiver as it hits you. You're going to take 3 damage as you kind of feel the vibration, and you look up, and then you can see these eyes staring down upon you. Okay, and they go ahead and roll another stealth. Go ahead and roll another stealth.
Another stealth. Okay.
Yep, this is the last one. Please.
It's another 25.
I was like, yes, I got something right here. I think I can get it. 15 plus 3, so that's an 18. So
wait.
roll the...
but I have to take 3 off.
Yeah.
So it's still 22.
22, yeah, then yeah, shoot. And it's the red eyes kind of stare at you blindly and stuff. As another rock comes crashing down and stuff, it quickly moves its head out of the way and swings its whole body its legs kind of move and protrude and barely skip on you. Okay, and you can still see Toggle and the rock smashing and stuff, and him kind of trying to pull his leg and slide himself out of the way of a lot of these rocks. Okay, let's go ahead and do a skill challenge. We're going to do 3 rounds to get across in a way. The whole purpose of this, we want to have a nice successful circumstance, is you obviously need to get to Toggle. You don't need to help Toggle. You obviously need to get into this chamber in which you can find rest and safety.
So first is to basically get across.
Yep. So we're going to do a skill challenge. So she has to pick a skill that she has, and she has to roll for it and see how well she does. Okay. So
yeah. So I am probably going to go ahead and do an acrobatics check to get across this bridge.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to make this first one not so. I'm going to do this. I'm thinking of making it interesting. So for those who've never played this game, it might be a little confusing, but for people who have played it before, this might be a little bit interesting. So if you fail, the difficulty becomes harder.
Okay.
First one is going to be a 10, and I just need a 1. Okay? So she needs to have 1 success. She needs to beat the number 10. If she gets 10, she gets a success. But if she gets 15, she gets 2 successes because she beat it by 5. Okay, and then on and on. But if she doesn't get above a 10, then she fails, and something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
Cool. And with that,
I still take the negatives on this.
Yes. What are you doing for
the acrobatics?
Acrobatics. Cool. And with that, as the spider dodges back and moves away from you, you quickly pick up your focus. You see what needs to be done, and you just take a step from the stone in which you are on, and just propel yourself forward. What'd you roll?
I got 2 successes. I'm sorry, babe. I rolled a 16 plus a 4.
Nice.
Minus a 3, it's 17, so that's still 2 successes.
Okay.
I get across the bridge, yay!
You made it. Congratulations. You successfully made it a good game for me. I'm kidding.
Hey, I mean, you could always DM like our friend Chris and just be like, oh, it doesn't matter how high or how well you roll, you're still gonna fail.
Yep.
Of course, you did do that to me during our group gameplay a little while ago. I rolled a beautiful nat 25, which usually
get into that story. We're just gonna keep going with this podcast.
Okay. Anyway, yes.
So
across the bridge.
Yeah. Pretty much, you kind of just quickly just push yourself back a little bit, and then you just power yourself, and you fly through the air. But you know you're not that far enough, and you time it just right as the rope slips right in front of you that's been dangling, and you grab it, and you swing yourself toward where Toggle is, okay? So that was 1. There's 3 rounds of a skill challenge, okay? Yes. So you succeeded. You also have a rope, okay? I should say you already had a rope.
I have a rope.
Okay, it stays the same then. Okay, so the skill you still have to beat. You have to beat a 12 this time, but you only have to do 1 success.
Okay. And I'm trying to help Toggle.
Yes, you can see him. He kind of looks up to you, and he says, "I'll make it myself. Just go." And he points toward the entrance.
Yeah, I can't really do that. I'm not the type of person that can do that. So I'm gonna roll a medicine check to give him like a.
Another stone comes flying through the air and smashing as you're gonna go to your. Yep, go for it.
Just I'm gonna grab him.
Gosh, how loud can you be?
Oh dear, this is where my luck runs out.
-3.
It's gonna be a 6.
Okay. You wasted your medical stuff as this rock comes flying through the air and it smashes into the stone in which you guys are in. You pull him back as far as you can. It breaks somewhat of the ground in which you are on. It is a 5-space spot that you're on. It is a tight spot. Okay?
Okay.
And it is very uncomfortable. You can see these spiders moving around. One of them kind of quivers and turns and then goes over towards you and scratches you across the back. You are now poisoned. Okay? I will explain it more as you are resting. But right now you are poisoned. You can feel the poison enter in and you're just like, it stings a lot. Okay? You're going to take 1 damage from that. And then here's the last skill challenge, so it got a little harder then, okay? We'll go ahead and put 2 successes, and I'm going to drop it down to 7, okay? So she has to beat a 7 and she has to have 2 successes. So that means she has to beat 7 by 7, and then +5. What are you doing? You can see the entrance. You have somewhat Toggle. He's struggling. He says, "Get off me! I said I can go on my own." And then they're right behind you. Don't waste your time. Just go, Zira.
So I'm gonna use my
Stupid
survival skills.
Okay.
To get us in. Yeah.
Another boulder just comes smashing. You can hear it thudding from wall to wall. Yeah, these spiders quickly just slide their bodies through their holes and stuff in the cover behind them. Okay, except for the one that's right next to you and above you, okay? And its mouth and its fangs kind of open up to try to bite at you, and then it catches the sound of this boulder.
That exhaustion.
What did you roll?
Well, I rolled a 7, exactly, but I lost 3 of that, so that's a 4.
It's a 4, so that was a total. This is not going to be good for you. I'm going to kind of just pause the recording and decide what I want to do. For all those good rolls. For all those good rolls that you roll, this is the punishment.
What happens.
Thou shalt not roll too high too many times.
Okay, now it's rolling good again.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be with Toggle.
Jackson. You took away all my good luck.
Okay, cool. And with that, as you see this rock, it smashes through this red-eyed spider. Okay.
Oh.
And you don't know where to go. This is it for you guys. Okay. There's no space to push back. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, as you kind of turn to look at the entrance, something wraps around your hand and pulls you. It's like a rope with somewhat of a grappling hook attached to it, and you get ripped. You're gonna go ahead and, gosh, you're hurt pretty bad. Your arm is kind of pulled out of its socket. Okay, as you go flying through the air, and then you smash against the wall, and then your body gets pulled up. Okay, you are knocked unconscious as well. That was a double fail. I'm sorry. I have to do it, but I set you up for that. As you get pulled up, you can see what appears to be a weird a fella kind of
unconscious.
Yeah, before you go unconscious.
Okay.
You're just about there, and you look up and you can see what appears to be a fella, and he says, and he looks back to see if Toggle is alright, and then he kind of looks down at you, and then he kind of pulls you and starts dragging you into the entrance in which you guys are supposed to go into. Okay.
Okay.
And with that, you rest for a day.
Yay. So I get everything back then, right?
No, I don't know about that. I should warn you.
Well, you get a long rest, yes?
Oh.
I at least get my exhaustion taken off.
Yeah, your exhaustions go away. You get a long rest. So.
And my HP should go back up, yeah?
Do you use your rest points? I shouldn't say it's a long rest. It should be a short rest, probably. Okay.
Okay, well.
Because it was a rough rest. It was a rough rest for you.
Yeah, I gotta use my rest points. But I mean, I need a long rest here.
You need a long rest? Okay, I'll give you a long rest.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm like,
but you are still poisoned.
Yeah, I figured.
In your arm, you're not able to use two-handed weapons. Just to warn you.
You just took away my bow? You took away...
This is like what the DM's job is pretty much to just take things away from you. It's like, hey, even though, like, I usually just take them away when it's like, oh, wait, that's a problem. Let me just get rid of that. Or let me just... But you haven't caused any problems, and I've already started taking away things from you.
Well, it's because you know that I'm going to cause problems, because I tend to cause problems.
Yeah, out of all the other players here, you're the worst.
Well, I tend to shoot things from far away, and then you don't get any fun of actually hitting me, so...
Yes, we'll see about
that. He takes away the fun.
I know. Well, it's fun. It's story. It's story. Come on, like, figure out... Okay, now, cool. And with that, you wake up inside this strange place, okay? It is an uncomfortable bed. Place smells. There's steam and smoke and fire and stuff burning, okay? And you wake up, and it's a room that it doesn't have anybody in it. You look out what appears to be somewhat of a makeshift window, and you can see you're in just like a cove of a little small cave in this building that has been. It's kind of like a one of those like buildings that like where that you they built into the caves, whatever, or the wall.
Yeah.
Um, and you look out, and then you kind of can hear this fella outside, working outside, okay, and pulling an animal around. And then he looks up to you and he says, "Oh, you finally woke up."
How long have I been out?
Quite some time, long enough to get a long rest.
Well, that's convenient. I don't suppose you have an antidote to the spider venom.
No, I don't. Not,
How
I
did
mean,
I get
I shouldn't
the
say.
antidote?
I shouldn't say that. I should say that I do, I guess. I.
And how much will it cost me?
Quite a penny.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I figured. It's a good thing
I
I'm
usually
rich.
don't tell you how much. I usually ask how much are you willing to give.
Not as much as we'd hope to receive.
Right? And he looks at you and he says, "I have to talk to you, but I warn you." And then some other fella kind of comes out of another place down below and stuff, or from the outside chamber and stuff. And then he looks up at you and stuff, and then he says, "The fella that you were talking to originally." Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show the pictures. So, here is
I don't know if you can see.
Ripple. Oh, you're right. Let's see if I can get it. Here is. There's a guy by the name of Gripple. He is the main fellow that you're talking to.
Can you see the picture all right?
Here you go.
Looks like a goblin-esque kind of guy.
Am I showing you the dude, right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to a different camera so that I can maybe do it easier. But the moment that this fella kind of all in fade to cool. Okay, so there's Mr. Gripple. Okay, there's all my DM notes. Because I said I didn't take notes and stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take notes, or I'm not gonna take. I'm gonna build actually, make story-esque. Okay, he says, as this other fellow walks through, okay, he says, "Oh, I warn you," and then this fellow walks and enters in, and he says, "Oh, I see you woke up, huh?"
Yeah. Got a nasty little headache.
Gripple is the one that said that to you. Okay. Just let you know.
Gripple's the one that said it to me.
Yes. The other fella that had just entered in, he kind of looks up at you, and then he kind of continues on straight ahead, okay, into the keep.
Okay.
Okay, it was this, and then as the guy leaves and says, "You should join us for breakfast," and he kind of smiles at you, and then he kind of then goes in.
Excuse me.
He stops. He looks up to you
Uh,
because you're like, "Oh, I think I'm a second," and you're looking out from a balcony.
I was traveling with a goblin. Is he all right?
I think Quando went to go look for him, and it looks like he returned empty-handed.
He was right by me.
Sorry, the Lagadide is very dangerous. Not many survive.
Toggle.
Like I said, you should get some food with us. Help you feel better. If we have that poison, but I don't think it will.
I just need, what kind of, can you tell me anything about the spider that, those really long-legged ones with the green eyes?
I wrote a name down for it. I'm glad you asked. It's called the...
You can't read your own handwriting.
What the heck is this? I come up with the names and I'm like, oh, that's a fun name.
Yeah, and they're like, what is it?
Here we go. Ready for it? Right? I'm gonna lay it down. It's the Belwigo, but Belguillo. Balguillo. It's the Balguillo.
The Balguillo.
No, actually I called it the spiders. I'm sorry.
Just the spiders.
Yeah, the people around here call it the spiders, but the what is it? The scientific term of it is the Valguilo.
If you say so. Um,
The
okay,
Bagwillow. Oh,
cool.
the Bagwillow. Bagwillows. I mean, they pretty much come in and out. Every time they poke a hole, I have to close it up. You probably have points to the roofs and stuff. You can see just holes that have been patched up and stuff. And then somewhat you can see what appears to be a little bit of dirt and stuff coming from the roof a little bit and kind of, hitting you and stuff.
uh, yeah, okay. What kind of poison, what kind of venom do they have? Like, I'm pretty handy.
Pretty handy. Do you have a quit?
I do.
They kind of the work and stuff.
Yeah.
Jeez. You came prepared then. Um, you would have to capture a specimen if you want to break that poison.
Wow.
It's pretty strong.
Just sell me your poison then. Sell me your antidote.
All right, then I'll sell it to you. It's gonna be a pretty penny. You don't come by it very easily. We have to really fight those things.
I have a pretty penny.
Uh,
Look how shiny it is.
no, you don't. Not on your inventory. Get out of here. I know. I assume I've never given you a penny. It's going to be about. Let's put it at 1,000 logs.
Which is 100 gold pieces? Oh, okay.
1,000 logs.
I have a ruby.
Darn it. Who gave you that ruby?
You did.
So I gotta stop giving you rubies. I'll take a look at it later after dinner. After breakfast.
Alright, let's go eat. Build up my strength. Maybe I will go chase down a spider. Because I'm that kind of person.
Cool. You pull in and you just feel the sting of this venom, kind of like you can see it's kind of lurching from your body. Okay, so you have a disadvantage to acrobatic checks. Okay.
Well, that would make sense since my arm is all messed up too.
Yes, pretty much. You throw off your.
I need to make a new character sheet on your new
Tell me
one.
about it. I know, because I'm like, cool.
I'm using an old one, but the new one that he came up with has all of these conditions listed on the paper, and it makes it so much easier to keep track of that. But of course, I'm not.
Yep.
I just am using an old character sheet for this campaign. Alright, so I have disadvantage on acrobatics.
Yes.
I'll just put a big D right there.
Yep, acrobatic and strength. Anything else to do with strength. Anything that falls into
the
strength.
athletics.
Yep.
I mean, I would imagine
All your skills and your saves when it comes to strengths. Yep.
So for might.
Yes, might. I'm sorry. Sorry, DC20. Oh gosh.
Right. Well, because acrobatics is under agility.
Oh yeah.
And athletics is under might. So would it just be under the might category?
It would be might and agility. Let's lose both of those.
Can't give me disadvantage on my stealth. Because of a scratch.
Sorry. You'll get it. Get it back. Okay.
Nice.
We're gonna go to the breakfast section, and then we're gonna call it a night. I think that was a good amount of space that we kind of collected.
I think so too.
So
we're just starting to get into a fun.
I know. I am actually really kind of enjoying it and stuff.
But
But
we might have to do this more than once a week.
more than once a week.
I don't know how we're gonna do it more than once a week.
I don't know what we're doing either. Okay, cool. And with that, as you enter down the steps and stuff, you kind of have to climb the little, I shouldn't say stones, but like the mason-esque kind of pillars and stuff, and climb down as you come to a weird askew kind of kitchen-esque kind of thing. Okay, and you can see the fella that had entered in, who was looking for your friend, and the fella that also he has what appears to be the same grappling hook wrapped around your arm and pulled it out. Okay, he is sitting at one of the tables and stuff, and Gripple enters in stuff, and he kind of makes his way to the back. Okay, this is the fella that you are able to see. His name is
Quando.
Thank you. You can say it. I don't know why I can't reread my own like stuff. Quando.
Quando?
Yeah, Quando. Quando is sitting there and stuff. He kind of looks up at you and he says to you, um, "Aye, you finally woke up. You doing all right?"
I've been better.
He kind of like pulls out what appears to be a blade, and he pulls out like some kind of weird fruit, and he starts cutting at it and stuff. "You owe me big for that, Safe. Would have been Diagana. Tried to save your friend, but it's too late for him. I'm sure. It took us some time to look for him.
You sure he's gone?
I spent some good time looking for him. I couldn't find him anywhere."
Poor guy.
Oh, let me just switch out to the back of the maps. But we're not really using the map too much. Go ahead, you can keep going.
Does that kind of thing happen often with the ceiling collapsing, essentially?
Very so often the spiders get mad. And they kind of wreak havoc in the caves.
Okay, I'm definitely killing a spider now.
Why?
I need the antivenom.
Nice. Good call. Let's put you there.
Okay.
And then I'll just put down as this guy is Quando. Quando. And then we'll put good old this as Gripple. Okay. Gripple's kind of working and pulling some things and stuff. He says, "It's been a while since I've had a guest. Thank you for joining us."
I don't think it's centered.
Oh, I always like do that. There. Cool. Let's see if I got it all. Okay. Yeah, he says you owe me big. Are you looking to get down to the Underdark?
Yes.
People go down there. Well, actually, we're all mad, but I want to get even madder and go crazier.
I have one objective. And that is to...
Kind of sits back and he's like, "What's that?"
I want to get my revenge.
And with that, Gripple comes over and he smashes down a plate. "There you go then. Eat up. It's good for ya." It is just a mosh of just mixture of things and stuff. An egg that doesn't look like an egg, but appears to be cracked like an egg and just oozing out just some weird smelling stuff. Okay, and then also like just a hot like piece of meat that is kind of looks different shades and has something growing on it as well.
I'm gonna do a quick investigation check. Let's see. Yeah, I guess
You don't trust me.
Nope.
No, he sits down with the same thing. He's just
Oh,
like
okay.
slopping it into his mouth.
Okay. Then I'll just eat it, I guess. I rolled a 10.
As you go to take a bite, and you eat, and you guys eat peacefully and stuff. He kind of just asks you about where you're from. I think Gripple asks you where you're from and talks to you about like Gripple is the one that's more entertained with where you're from.
Right.
Assuming you talk to him about the fire plane, and
Oh, yeah.
he's just like asking the stupidest questions. And it comes to like,
Well, not a lot of people have even heard about the fire planes. So, yes, of course.
so like you're walking on fire for like most of the time on there?
No. That
So what
would
do you
be
eat,
stupid.
like fire or what?
No. That would be stupid.
Sorry, I don't know what when you say fire plane, I mean, I assume it's
No,
like...
no, there are roots and there are animals. There's food to eat. It's just
Water?
what's water?
I think you know what water is. You've
Yes,
been
I know
on
what water
the...
is now, yeah. No, there's really no water. There's kind of like this
Fascinating. Fascinating.
starry sludge
Oh.
that we kind of can drink, but we get most of the moisture that we need from what we consume.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your arm will be back to no shape and back and better in no time. We just keep healing up. I believe we can help you. I can help you find your way back up. It is not best that you go down into the Underdark.
I've got nothing for me up there.
Oh, I'm only a post for those coming from there seeking refuge, but not going down It's not the best idea.
That's all I got.
And then all of a sudden, Quando says, I can take you. I can show you the way. Your friend Izagana, you need somebody to show you. I go down there very, very often. He kind of doesn't look up at you, but he's just munching away at his food, okay?
Okay. Gripple, I would appreciate if I might get some supplies, some rations from you.
Gripple kind of like is focused, or he's kind of looking at Quando. Quando is looking down, and Gripple kind of then looks at you, and then he says, oh yeah, I can get you some supplies. And he looks back at Quando. Quando's still looking down, eating his food, and he says, let me just go rummage through my stuff and take a look. And he kind of walks off, and then he kind of starts rummaging through his back stuff and moving things and everything.
Do I need to be worried about him? Gripple.
Are you close to you're sitting at the table with Quando.
Oh, I thought he went off to go find supplies.
Let me do the map thing. Okay, so here's Mr. Gripple.
Uh-huh.
Gripple is like, oh, let me go walk and get some things from
Oh,
the
he went to go. I thought Quando went
is
to
the
go
one
look for. Never mind. I did not whisper that
I
then.
feel like I'm like giving away like the whole thing. So you can see this dude is just like he's like, trust me, I can take you.
Ignore the
It's
skull
like,
that I wear upon my
eyes are
scalp.
red and I'm not showing you my face, but trust me. So yeah.
But he did just save my life, so.
Yeah, he did save your life. Yes. Oh, poor
Uh,
Toggle.
I know, poor Toggle. Toggle was a
Well-
little, Toggle wasn't quite the same. Toggle was not quite right in the head, and now he's a pancake. Or is he a pancake?
Why would I tell you? You obviously
No,
know
why
the
would you
answer.
He's
And
not a pancake.
with
We'll
that,
find him.
Quando kind of then looks at you leeringly and he says, I can take that ruby off your hands. I can take you down there. And then he kind of reaches into his bag and then he tosses you some, he tosses you a vial. And he says, don't worry about the poison. This will take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. With that, he kind of yells over at Gribble and he says, hey, make us some food. We're leaving later tonight.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I guess. Well, I'm going to probably take the potion and I'm gonna check it.
Up to you. As you head back over to your room, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He kind of goes off and stuff, and he is going to go ahead and get his stuff all. Okay, and you head off into your area, your room, stuff.
Okay, so I'm gonna check with my survival or my medicine. It's gonna be an 18.
Gotcha. You pull out your kit or what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have like an herbalist kit.
Gotcha. And you kind of start analyzing and comparing. I think you have like somewhat like a page of comparison and stuff, or like a reading, a log and stuff of what things to look for, what densities, what whatever. And you start balancing it out, pouring it back and forth and stuff, just to kind of do a quick check of it. And this is not. So usually you would assume that obviously it's used with the blood of, or with the blah blah blah. This does not appear to be blood. Okay, you can tell that right away.
Okay.
It does not appear to be a blood of an insect, like a spider. Okay, it is something else. Okay.
Can I tell what it is?
You cannot tell what it is, but you can tell that it does not belong to that spider.
So it's something.
And with that, all of a sudden, your door comes Quando, and he says, "All right, then, just about ready. We'll give you a couple more minutes, but got some food from Gribble. Some food rations."
Hold up the vial. You want to tell me what exactly this is?
He says, "You didn't take it. It's the antivenom for your poison cut."
But it's
Kind
not.
of walks over and kind of points at your.
It does not contain.
He then kind of then steps up toward you and he says, "Look, I'm trying to help you. If you want, you can go down there by yourself then. And he kind of takes the vial and he throws it against the wall and it breaks and slats all.
Yeah, I'll take the ruby back, thanks.
He kind of looks at you and he kind of like smirks, and then he throws the ruby behind him.
Cool.
You're welcome for me saving your life, as he kind of slams the door behind you. And he goes back.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't trust him. Toggle told me not to trust anybody, so I am not.
Yeah, good call. You should listen to Toggle.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Alrighty.
let me just go ahead and switch it out. If I can get to that screen. Oh yeah, it's right there. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. We're hopefully going to keep doing this every week, and we're super excited.
Yeah. We try to aim for like Mondays or Tuesdays. Probably.
Mondays or Tuesdays, just like expect to see us here.
Yeah, I'll try to post a little bit ahead of time that we're gonna be going live. So yeah.
Yeah, and come check out our actual show on our YouTube channel, where we have a lot of drawings and animations and stuff, and then we're growing on it and stuff. So I know we only have one or two episodes, 3 episodes that are fully animated and stuff, but we're getting more and more advanced on it. So we're super excited, and DC20 is super fun, and yeah, we're gonna be leveling up soon. What's called stuff. I should probably give you some of a level up. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Yes. Thank you.
We appreciate you. So.
Yep. We'll see you.
Yep.
Bye.